Welcome to the Business Spotlight. Today we have Adam with us from Expressit. Expressit are a small business. They work with small businesses from anything from 250 grand all the way up to 150 million. And their job, help you make sense of technology. Adam is the owner, the founder of the business. They're a 12-year-old company and they have grown exponentially. I genuinely cannot wait to share this story with you. I'm lucky and blessed enough to have known Adam for quite a while now, and it's a privilege to have someone with us who I know and like so much. Adam, thanks for joining. Thanks for joining us. I don't want to share too much of your story. That's what you're here to do. It's great to have you with us.
Yeah, thanks, James, for the invite. It's always a pleasure to see you online and what you're doing for help businesses like me to promote us and get us to where we need to be in our growth journeys. So again, thanks for having us.
Yeah, pleasure. Let's start out by telling us about the history of your company.
Oh, where do you start? It was, obviously, it's been an absolute roller coaster, blast of a ride. To be fair, technician by trade. I failed the system. The system failed me, I suppose. We didn't know I've got Asperger's and autism, so my mind's always working 100 miles an hour. So we really struggled in college. Didn't was not really much support there. Obviously, then I didn't get a chance to even touch university. I was frustrated by the system, so I ended up sort of self-learning. Ended up at the job centre where they had like an employability program. Obviously, they recognised some of my traits and tends on it on ADHD. So they put me on a program, which was a fast track program to get my qualifications, get me out there. And then I landed a job with a very, very small IT firm. I was promised the world when I left. I was like, you're going to get a 40K job. You're going to do this, you're going to do that. It's going to be great for you. And that didn't really pan out. So I ended up working for a guy for about 8 years with empty promises. I've always been entrepreneurial. So I was like, I really want this business to flourish. It's a small IT firm. Why are we not building and growing and taking this IT business to market? So I got promised shareholdership, I got promised directorship, I got promised the world. And in the end, after 8 years, I decided enough was enough. So I then, set up Expressit in 2011. So it's been an absolute blast. And since 2011, it's just been absolute ups and downs. I've had low times, I've had high times. And even today, it's not easy. So that's just a flavour, James. I don't know how deep you want me to go with this stuff because it's a massive ride.
Yeah, it is a massive ride, and you've grown a lot, haven't you? Can you tell us a little bit about how much you've grown, whatever you're comfortable sharing, and also what you attribute that growth to?
Yeah, so we're on the cusp of our first £1 million in revenue, which is a massive achievement. Like I say, it's been very tough to get there. I think a lot of innovation, a lot of trying different things. There's been a lot of wasted investment in trying different things. I think one of the major things I've kind of picked up along the journey is you need good people around you. People like your good self. Find a peer group, find somebody who's. I didn't have a clue when I started Express IT. I remember my first accountant. He was like sovereigns and big chains, still smoking in his office, and he's like, "Listen," "Listen, lad, don't you worry. You just bring your receipts in a bag." And I was like, "No, I want to learn. I want to know about business. I want to understand about accounting." He's like, "Oh, don't you worry. You focus on just getting your business in." And I kind of took some advice out. Like I thought I get it, but then I think it kind of held me back a little bit.
Mm.
So in terms of one of the big catalysts, is probably people. Is like just getting out there and speaking to people, just being genuine and honest. Just say you still. Everybody's sometimes puts this facade on that it's easier and we're doing loads of business, but it's hard graft, and I think people resonate with that.
Yeah, that's so true. So if you had to go back, if we had to take you back 12 years and you had to start from day one, what would you do differently? What would you do to make the journey easier?
Uh, I, I'd, I would have definitely engaged in coaching sooner rather than later. I think that was pivotal. I think understanding about forecasting and cash flow, absolutely. Networking. I still remember my first networking meeting where absolutely was terrified. You know, I had like palpitations or sweaty arms, sweaty palms, and I was like, I just couldn't. So I think in terms of what I would have is just making sure you understand a little bit about, you know, budgeting, cash flow, financials, because I think if I could tell myself back there then, it's like, because I always my always thing, and I think it was even 6, 7 years in, I was still looking at my bank account as my thing of whether I would invest in something or not. But
Mm.
that didn't determine how much cash we had in the business. So we might have had 100 grand owed to us, and I was still making decisions on the 20k we had in the bank. And what I should have been doing is actually making investments based on a cash flow forecast,
Yeah.
you know, a financial forecast in terms of where we're going to be. So there's a lot of lessons, a lot of lessons. It's very difficult to pick one, but I think probably looking back, cash flow and having some financial plan in place to kind of measure how much money and investment we could have taken. So a lot of things I was subdued. I didn't invest in a website because even though we had money coming in, I was very money was going in and going out, but we had good cash flow. But I was very much reserved, and it didn't really help us, to be fair.
Yeah, I get that. Ah, interesting. So learn finance, learn to work on the business and put good people around you. And that's great advice. And one of the things that almost, I would probably say 60 to 70% of the people that sit with us on these sessions have a challenge with is time. Have you ever had a challenge with time? And if so, how have you gone about improving your relationship with time and time management?
Um, it's still a sore subject. I think it's absolute. My mind is just 150 miles an hour everywhere I go. Like even when I'm like, you know, we're putting solutions together for clients. I'm a born problem solver. You know, I used to take my toys apart when I was a kid and do my mum's head in because I just wanted to know how they worked. So time is very hard. I kind of have this shiny light syndrome where like it's just, oh, look at this new thing. Oh, and I go down that because it helps me self learn and it helps me educate my clients. So I have really struggled. And I think after 12 years, it's not got any better. I think I tried all different systems. I've tried Notepad. I've tried different systems for managing time. I've tried blocking out diary. And I think the only thing that I've kind of realized lately is actually using a virtual assistant, you know, and just being able to delegate and let go. You know, it's like you don't have to do everything. And I think over the last sort of 6 months now, it's just a case of just have it, just whatever's in my head. And I think it's helped a lot because I'm not like where I'd have the best interest to have a one to one with somebody, but then it'd be 6 months will go down because time flies in business. And you'd be like, oh, you meet the guy again, you'd be like, oh yeah, me and you could do business. And then you go, okay, well, yeah, we'll set up that one to one, but it never happens. So it's kind of like now it's just I'm straight out of a meeting, I'm on the phone to my VA. However, I'm just chucking it after. I'm saying WhatsApp note, voice note, whatever, email, just whatever mode I'm in at the time, and then I'll just be. And I'm sure probably a lot of busy entrepreneurs will have the same issue. Like they'll just chuck it, you know, at somebody, you know, and just a case of just get it off your chest. Whereas before I was trying to deal with it, I thought, well, by the time I've sent the email to my yeah, I could have done it.
Mm.
But I'm actually no because it's just gone. And then she deals with the follow ups and all the rest of it. So yeah, I've really struggled with the time management thing. I think only in the last 6 months, but I think that's just the way I am, the way my mind works. And I think it's only since, you know, coming off the alcohol and just being not using alcohol as a crutch, as a stress reliever, because my mind works in that way to bring my mental state down in the evenings, which I'm sure again other business owners will resonate, has actually unlocked another level. It's really weird to explain, but I feel more confident, more calm. I feel more like I'm able to kind of deal with those situations better and also better time manage. So it's amazing how coming off it actually makes you feel 100% better.
Mm, yeah, that's so true. There's some great tips in there, Adam, especially around leveraging people, being able to, like you said, you don't need to do everything. You can hand some of this off, get other people doing the task for you. And even that, I think getting off the booze is just gonna, there's probably a few people watching this that are just gonna get that tap and go, ah, yeah, do you know what? I probably needed to hear that today. So
100%.
you mentioned that time has been a challenge. As you look to kick on now, you know, sail past that million mark and move on to the next milestones. What would you say is the biggest challenge right now as you're looking to grow?
Skills, people. I think one of the things that we've really struggled with, culture's always been big for me. As an IT firm, the way we put ourselves out to our audience is IT is very insular. It's very, people think of us with hoodies on and earphones and just working away and not very human like. So one of the things that I've brought to Express IT is my passion for, even though I was nervous at networking, I'm still passionate about people. So like when I know the person, it's easier for me to engage. My persona comes across easy, and my kind of idea to try and help them grow in their business through technology is kind of where it comes from. So I think trying to find people that fit that, but also the technical skills. I know you say you employ on culture and obviously their value rather than actually the actual training bit, because you can teach them, you can train them and upskill them, but it's still a real struggle. Some people are easy to upskill, other people take more time, and then just trying to find skills in the market. It's such a poor market for skills at the moment. So you can leverage the apprenticeships, but it's not, when you're growing, it's an absolute nightmare because you win that big 150 mil client and you're like, well, I can't be that. I can't be the technician that I once was because I'm heading the business. I'm pushing it that way. So definitely skills and recruitment is probably one of our biggest challenges that we're going to need to sort of figure out as we move forward.
Yeah, great. Okay. And is there any question? Is there a question that you can think of that I should be asking you that I haven't already asked?
Um, oh, it's a good one, that James. It's a good one. A question that you shouldn't have already asked me. I think, because obviously I'm trying to think what will add value to people who are listening as well. Not sure, James. I'm not sure.
Well, let's finish with this. Let's say, what are your plans over the next 5 years? And then let's finish with what's one piece of advice that you'd want to leave to the business owners who are looking to grow?
Yeah, so the next 5 years for us are all about just reinforcing and bolstering the business to get it to the point where I can actually take the rewards and the efforts that I've put into the business over the last 12 years, because it has been tough. It's been a very up and down ride. I've been at the point where I've been writing a circle on a piece of paper with a question mark in the middle, thinking, what am I doing? Why am I on this game when I can go and stack shelves for Tesco for 30 grand a year? As a store manager or whatever, I thought this is just crazy. So I've had the highs and the lows. So I think moving forwards over the next 5 years is one of the things that I got out of working with people like yourselves is, what's your exit strategy? What you do it for? You wake up every day, you go to work, you graft hard, you go home, you stress, you have a glass of wine, you unwind, and then you just rinse and repeat and do the same thing every day. And although you enjoy the challenge and you enjoy the grit and the getting in the trenches with the people, it's like employ people that you'd have on your lifeboat with you, but it's, even though you really deep and down in it, it's like, why? What are you thinking about? Where's your exit strategy? Where do you come off that roller coaster? Because at some point it's got to come to an end. And I think for me, the next 5 years is, as much as I love my clients and I'll still be involved and we can still go for games of golf or whatever it'll be, to sell the business. My dream is to build the multipliers up on the business and exit. Now that could be 5 or 10 years down the line. It may be that the financials work brilliant and I can just get off the train and leave it to, my senior management team, senior leadership team. So I think really as a tip for a business owner is just like, probably just think of the exit strategy. Think of, get yourself into a peer group, work on your processes and procedures, because as you grow, it's hard. If you don't have that wheel that your staff go through to make sure things run smooth, oil the cogs, then it's going to fall down. Get your cash flow and your finances sorted, absolutely a thing. And then just, what's your exit strategy? When does this end for you? How does this work? Are you happy to stay on and take some of the profits out? Because after actually, it's 12 years as a business owner, I really need to reward myself, because I feel that this is my baby. I will sacrifice for my baby, and I've got to detach myself from that. and that's what we're working on now, is strengthening the business to build it, to sell it in the future. And that's my give back to the viewers.
Really cool. What great advice. There was about 4 or 5 different pearls in there actually that I think people will take depending on where they are in the journey. What an incredible interview. Adam, thank you so much. How do our viewers get in touch with you if they've got any more questions for you?
Yeah, so we've just finalised our new website at expressit.group. Obviously, we help business owners make sense of technology and their IT. The common thing that we see in technology and IT is that people will go to market because they only understand the value of money. So they'll go and get 3 quotes, and then they'll go for the middle one because they think it's the best one, better value, it's the best value for the business. But it's how do they make an informed decision when it comes to technology without understanding a little bit about technology? And that's where we come in, because you could go for the cheapest one, but it'll actually have the most value. You could go for the middle one, but it's actually a crap service, but someone's decided to charge a bit more for it, or it doesn't quite protect the business in that way. So it's important that when you're making those decisions as a business owner, when it comes to technology and IT support, cybersecurity, we all know it's bad out there, that you understand it. And I'd rather someone come to me with 3 quotes and say, Adam, what do you think? Or can you come in and quote and just give us an idea and a steer? So to get in touch with us, just go on the website, expressit.group, find me on LinkedIn. I'm pretty much an open book. Yeah, I can send you a link so we can book a meeting, or drop me an email at av@expressit.group. So thank you very much, James. Really appreciate the opportunity.
Adam, thank you so much for taking the time to share your learnings about running a business with our viewers. This has been one of my favourites. Incredible energy. Thank you so much. Adam, we'll see you next time.
Take care, James.